Josh Allen looks like a quarterback stuck in a nightmare. Not because of a lack of effort, not because he suddenly forgot how to play football, but because he simply doesn't trust the guys around him. And honestly, how could he? The Buffalo Bills offense is broken, plain and simple. And we're not just talking about a few missed plays or some growing pains. We're talking about a complete meltdown in execution, creativity, and, more importantly, confidence. When your quarterback looks like he's playing with ghosts instead of receivers, you've got a real problem. The game against the Falcons was just the latest chapter in what feels like a never-ending book of frustration. The defense was historically bad in the first half. We're talking about giving up over 300 yards before halftime. And yet, even with that, they somehow kept the team in the game. They gave the offense a chance. They gave Josh Allen a shot. And what did the offense do with it? Absolutely nothing. It was like watching a team that didn't want to win. No urgency, no rhythm, and no trust. Allen looked like a guy trying to make something out of nothing every single snap. And the result was a chaotic mess of forced throws, off-target passes, and desperation plays. You could see it in his body language. Josh wasn't playing free. He was playing cautious, second-guessing everything. He looked like someone trying to guide the ball rather than throwing it with confidence. That's not the Josh Allen we know. That's not the guy who used to strike fear into defenses with his arm and legs. Now, it's all backyard football, like a flashback to that 2019 playoff game in Houston, where he was lateraling the ball to nowhere and making it up as he went along. It's reckless, yes, but it's also a sign of a deeper issue. He doesn't trust his wide receivers, and they haven't given him a reason to. The Falcons didn't even try to hide it. They didn't respect the Bills' wideouts at all. They knew those guys weren't getting open, so they just sent pressure over and over again. 56% of the snaps, Allen was blitzed. Let that sink in. It wasn't even disguised. It wasn't complex. It was, we know your guys can't beat us, so we're coming after your quarterback every chance we get. And it worked. It completely wrecked any attempt at rhythm or momentum. When Josh Palmer finally made a couple of plays and then got hurt, it felt like the only guy willing to step up got taken out of the game. And where was the help? Where was Keon Coleman? Where was the scheme to get somebody, anybody, open? Joe Brady, who had shown promise earlier in the season, has now strung together back-to-back duds. That 3rd and 2 call near midfield, the Jets' sweep to Elijah Moore that lost yards, that wasn't creative. That wasn't aggressive. That was desperate and dumb. In that moment, with the game on the line, you're thinking they might go for it on 4th down, and instead they go backward. You don't need a trick play. You need a smart one. Run the ball. Use your best player. Don't get cute. Just get it done. And speaking of the run game, James Cook should be the centerpiece of this offense right now. He should be touching the ball more than anyone else on this team, not named Josh Allen. And yet, when it's 3rd and short, when it's a must-have situation, he's on the sideline. What are we doing? You want to protect your quarterback? Then take the pressure off him by giving the ball to your most consistent weapon. Feed Cook. Don't overthink it. Just do what works. The 49ers do it. The Colts do it. The Falcons just did it to you. It's not complicated. Make the simple things look complex. That's good offense. Instead, we're watching a Bills team that doesn't know what it wants to be. Last year, this offense had an identity. This year, it has none. No go-to receiver. No real threats on the outside. And as much as you want to blame Josh for some of the mistakes, and yes, he's made them, he's been pushed into desperation mode by the people around him. Guys aren't getting open. The offensive line, which had been solid for most of the year, got bullied all night by a Falcons front that isn't even among the league's best. The wide receivers aren't winning their matchups. And Joe Brady? He looks like a coach trying to find his way in the dark. They had moments in this game, brief flickers of hope. A blocked field goal that could have turned the tide. The defense, as bad as it was, gave them a shot. And yet, in that crucial moment, when they had a short field and a chance to tie the game, the Bills' offense went backwards. Again, a 3-and-out that looked like something straight out of the Ken Dorsey era. Vanilla play calling. No aggression. No urgency. It felt like they were trying not to lose instead of trying to win. And let's be honest, the Falcons didn't just outplay the Bills. They out-schemed them. B.J. Robinson was a nightmare out of the backfield. Drake London was a monster on the outside. They moved their best players around. They got them the ball in space. And what did the Bills do? Nothing. No counter. No adjustment. And when you're outcoached and outplayed like that, it's not just on the players. It's on the staff. Joe Brady has to be better. Sean McDermott has to be better. Everyone has to be better. The scariest part? This isn't just a bad game. It's a pattern. You can excuse a one-off. You can shrug off a tough loss. But this team has now been outplayed in multiple games, and it's starting to look like the issues go way deeper than just bad execution. This is about roster construction. It's about not having the guys to compete. You can't keep blaming injuries when your replacements don't even look like they belong on the field. You can't keep leaning on the if the play worked, it would have been a great call excuse when the design was flawed from the start. Josh Allen deserves more. He's not perfect, but he's the heart and soul of this team. And he's out there, week after week, dragging this offense along with sheer willpower. That only gets you so far. You need help. You need weapons. You need a plan. And right now, the Bills have none of those. Let's talk about the defense. Because as much as the offense has been a mess, what we saw from the defense in that first half was a total collapse. One of the worst halves of defensive football in recent memory. It looked like a walkthrough, like Atlanta was playing 7-on-7. No resistance. No disruption. No physicality. The Falcons piled up over 300 yards before halftime, and it didn't even feel difficult. They did whatever they wanted whenever they wanted. Bijan Robinson looked like he was running against air. Drake London looked like a prime Calvin Johnson. And the Bills? They looked lost. No answers. No urgency. This is where things get really frustrating. Sean McDermott is a defensive head coach. This is supposed to be his side of the ball. He's supposed to be the one who holds things together, who makes the right calls, who prepares his team. But what we're seeing is a group that's confused, poorly positioned, and just flat out getting beat. It's not just about missed assignments. It's about a lack of playmakers. They don't have the dudes right now, and it shows. And when your entire game plan is built on being in the right place at the right time, but your guys can't make the plays once they get there, you're in serious trouble. The tackling has been abysmal. Simple runs are turning into explosive plays. Missed angles, flailing arms, arm tackles that get shrugged off like nothing. It's not just about scheme anymore. It's about effort, intensity, and discipline. There were plays in this game where defenders had clean shots at the ball carrier and just whiffed over and over. You force a fumble on the very first play of the game, and you wipe it off because your guy was lined up offside. That's a microcosm of everything that's going wrong with this team. It's self-inflicted wounds, repeated over and over again. Jordan Poyer had to come in off the bench and immediately felt like an upgrade. Not because he's playing an elite level, but because the guys replacing him weren't even close to competent. Cole Bishop looked overwhelmed. Taylor Rapp had a nightmare of a game. And it's not just in the secondary. Up front, guys like Jordan Phillips missed multiple tackles on a single screen play. Yes, on one single play. He had 3 clean shots and whiffed on all of them. That's not scheme. That's just bad football. And it's not like the Falcons were pulling out tricks or doing anything exotic. They were just moving their best players around and saying, "Stop us." And the Bills couldn't. They couldn't even slow them down. Robinson was in the backfield, out wide, in motion, and they never adjusted. Drake London lined up outside, and the slot didn't matter. He got the ball, and he made plays. Atlanta dared Buffalo to stop them one-on-one, and there wasn't a single guy on that defense who could consistently win his matchup. Meanwhile, Sean McDermott stands on the sideline and talks about fundamentals and positioning, but what he really needs to talk about is results. Because this defense is leaking everywhere. Missed tackles, blown coverages, zero resistance in the red zone. When one unit gets exposed this badly and this consistently, something's got to give. Maybe McDermott takes back play-calling duties after the bye. Maybe they shake up the staff. Maybe they go hunting for a mid-season trade. Whatever it is, standing still can't be an option anymore. There was one bright spot, if you can even call it that, Deon Walker. He was the only guy on the field who looked like he gave a damn. He made multiple plays in the backfield. He was disruptive. He played with energy. He didn't look like he was just doing his 111th. He looked like he was trying to change the game. And honestly, that's what this team lacks. Guys willing to go beyond just doing their job. Because right now, doing your job isn't good enough. Someone has to step up and make plays. Someone has to go above and beyond. And if Deon Walker a rookie, is the only one doing that, it says a lot about the rest of the roster. You start to look at the bigger picture, and the problem becomes crystal clear. This roster isn't good enough. Brandon Beane deserves a heavy share of the blame. Everyone wants to talk about injuries, and yeah, they matter, but when the guys behind the starters look like they don't belong in the league, that's a front office failure. When you build a team that depends on every starter being healthy just to function, you've built a fragile team. The depth isn't there. The high-priced veterans aren't delivering, and the young guys aren't ready. That's on Beane. And now, to make matters worse, Daquan Jones popped his calf in warm-ups. It might be an Achilles. If that's the case, he's done for the year. That's yet another hit to a defense that's already missing key players all over the field. At this point, it's not even about next man up. It's about survival. Just finding enough warm bodies to put on the field. But you can't survive like that in the NFL. You can't just patch it together and hope for the best. You need guys who can play, not just fill a jersey. So what's next? What do you do if you're Sean McDermott? If you're Brandon Beane? You can't magically fix this roster midseason. You can't just wish for health. You need to make a move. Maybe it's reclaiming defensive play calling. Maybe it's benching underperformers. Maybe it's sending a message in the locker room. But the status quo isn't working. This team isn't playing with energy. It's not playing smart. And it sure as hell isn't playing like a contender. And yet, somehow, this team is still in the race. The AFC is a mess. It's wide open. But that only makes this all the more frustrating. Because it feels like the Bills are wasting another year of Josh Allen's prime. They're wasting his toughness, his competitiveness, his sheer will to carry this franchise. And for what? A defense that can't tackle? An offense that can't scheme a guy open? A coaching staff that seems stuck in place? Before we dive back in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest Buffalo Bills updates straight to your screen. And hey, don't hold back. Let us know your thoughts on today's news down in the comments. The Buffalo Bills are reportedly on the verge of completing one of the most jaw-dropping moves in recent NFL history, signing TYREEK Hill. Sources whisper that the speed demon himself, known as the Cheetah, could soon be wearing blue and red, instantly transforming the Bills' offense into the fastest unit in the league. Imagine Josh Allen dropping back, with Hill tearing downfield at breakneck speed, leaving defenders grasping at air. It's a scenario that could send chills down the spine of any defensive coordinator. While official confirmation hasn't arrived yet, insiders claim negotiations are in the final stages, and the NFL rumor mill is already spinning at full throttle. This potential acquisition would mark a seismic shift for Buffalo, who have long been a powerhouse in the AFC East, but never truly had a pure, game-breaking deep threat like Hill. Known for his uncanny acceleration and ability to turn a short pass into a 70-yard touchdown in the blink of an eye, Hill could redefine the Bills' offensive identity. Imagine the sideline celebrations, the highlight reels, and the sheer panic among opposing secondaries every Sunday. Critics might wonder about chemistry with Allen, but whispers suggest both players are excited about the prospect. Coaches are said to be already scheming new formations, trick plays, and deep shot packages that could leverage Hill's unmatched speed. Even fans on social media are buzzing, speculating that this move alone could make Buffalo a Super Bowl favorite overnight. Of course, nothing is official yet, and history reminds us that NFL rumors often twist and turn. But if this deal comes to fruition, the Bills' offense could be downright unguardable. Defensive backs might need a jetpack to keep up, and running backs could benefit from defenses spreading thin to cover Hill's every sprint. For now, the league watches with bated breath. Could TYREEK Hill really be Buffalo-bound? If the rumors hold any truth, the Bills may soon boast the fastest, most electrifying offense the NFL has ever seen. And TYREEK Hill might just be the spark that ignites a title run. That's a wrap for now. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of all things Buffalo Bills, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what you think in the comments. See you in the next update.